Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mary Max. So on today's tutorial we are doing a full makeup on my client. So this client walked in for her birthday glam and I decided to film the process for you guys. So I started off by cleansing her face using my micellar water, then went in with a moisturizer. After moisturizing her skin, I waited for some time, then I'm applying a mattifying primer. So for mattifying her skin, I'm using the Melon Skin Press. So going into the foundation, I use this foundation from LB Cosmetics. It's a Nigerian brand. Next, after I'm done with her foundation, I went into my lipstick palette. I'm using the pink and red color. I mixed the both together. I'm using it as my blush. Going into a concealer to highlight underneath her eyes, I'm using the FBH concealer palette. Now I'm done highlighting her face. I'm going into a powder palette just to set the highlight underneath her eyes. So moving over to the other side of the eyes, I went into a little bit of concealer. Then after blending it out, I went in powder palette just to set underneath the eyes to avoid creasing. Going in with a translucent powder, I'm going to bake her face. So guys, now we are done with the skin work. We are going into the eyebrows. I'm using my Philips eyebrows. Then going in with my base eyebrow I'm done highlighting the brows, I'm going into this powder palette. I'm using that shade. Next, I'm setting her brow bone with this powder from my powder palette. Next is the eyeshadow application. So I'm using my Blossom African Queen eyeshadow palette. So I started with this brown color. I applied it on the crease area. So at this point, I wanted to do a gold glittery eye makeup, but I later switched up. I later switched to a brown smoky eye, of which after the whole brown smoky eye stuff, I added glitters to it. So just pay close attention, you will understand the process. So this is where I'm covering the lid using that same shade I used for the transition color. So after covering it, I went into another color which is a bit red but not too red. So I used that one to smudge out the eyeshadow I applied, just to blend it further. Then after applying that color, I went into another brown color from the eyeshadow palette, which I used to darken the lid a more. So I'm applying this brown color, is in the shade Fumi. I'll be using it to darken the shade the more. Then I went into my glitter primer, which I'm applying on the eyes. Moving on, I'm gonna line her tight line using my Adventure Gel Liner. Next, I'm lining her waterline using this nude lipstick from my iMagic lip palette. After that, I went back into the eyeshadow palette and I used all that color I used on her lid area and bringing it down to the bottom part of her eyes. I'm going into this powder palette. I'm using that shade to dust off the translucent powder I applied earlier. Then I went into that glitter so as to pop more on the eyelids. So guys, if you watched till this point, I believe you're enjoying the tutorial so far. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, turn on the bell notification beside that subscribe button so you'll be the first to get notified whenever I put up a new video. If you have any question concerning this look, drop it down in the comment section as I'll be replying all the comments. Thank you. So moving over to the lip, I'm using my iMagic lip palette. This is my all-time favorite lip palette. I've been using this lip palette for quite some time now. I used the brown color on the palette to outline her lip. Then going into this nude color is from Lady V Cosmetics. I'm using that. It's actually a matte lipstick, so I'm using that on the middle part of her lip. Then after that, I went into this liquid lip stain. I don't know the brand, I'll put it down in the description box. So I'm gonna use it to outline the lip, just to gloss the lip the more. Then after that, I went into another lip stain for the middle part of her lip. Next, I'm using my Tehila palette. I started using this palette lately, then I realized that I don't even need my single highlighter anymore. So this palette comes in handy. I've been using it for quite some time now. So I'm using that orange. I mixed the orange and red shade in the palette. I used it as my blush just to chisel out the cheek area. So after that, I went into the highlighter and I applied it using my beauty blender. So guys, we've actually come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you right in my next one.